of Arabia, but he had a problem. He didn't know Arabic. And then he said, you know, Arabic is a very complex language. It has over 4,000 roots. But you give me a couple of weeks and I will have a true command of it. I do not promise so much, but I will try to learn the basic words in order to really stay in touch with you. And thirdly, I would like to say, Mr. President, that when I came into this auditorium, at first I was confused. I was confused because I know that I'm in Jordan, but for a moment I thought I was in the Dominican Republic. And the reason is that when I look at your faces, I'm thinking exactly from which province in the Dominican Republic you are. We're so much alike that being in Jordan, I feel like if I were in the Dominican Republic. So I would like to begin my presentation here today, remembering that nearly 2 years ago, on the occasion of an official state visit, I had the privilege to come for the first time to this beautiful and hardworking nation. It was then that I also had the honor to visit this very prestigious University of Jordan. Right from the beginning, I was deeply impressed by its remarkable campus, its outstanding faculty, and its enthusiastic body of students. I know that these days the university has been celebrating the 50th anniversary. 50 very successful years in which it has become the premier institution of higher learning in Jordan and one of the most prominent in the Arab world. In addition to the undergraduate and graduate degrees that the university offers in 20 colleges and institutes, it is internationally recognized, as the President has said, for its centers and institutes, as well as for its contributions in scientific research. It is awesome to acknowledge that Jordan has the highest number of researchers per million people in the Arab world and the 30th worldwide. That is quite a national accomplishment to feel proud about. Of course, I never thought 2 years ago that I would be coming back in such a relatively short period of time to witness the birth of this Center for Latin American Studies that, beyond any personal merit, only because of the generosity of this university authorities, would bear my name. For what I know, this is the first center of its kind in the Middle East, and in addition to the pride it brings, we have to share the viewpoint that it has come at a very appropriate time. Due to the powerful forces of interdependence and interconnectedness, the world has become, as once noted by the Canadian philosopher Marshall McLuhan, a global village. It is within the scope of that shrinking world that comes the need for a better understanding among the different peoples, nations, and regions in this planet. We might consider that Latin America and the Caribbean, Jordan and the Middle East are geographically far apart, and as a consequence do not have much in common or very few to share. To think that way naturally would be a mistake. Between Latin America and the Arab world, or Jordan and the Dominican Republic, my homeland, there are many things that unite and brings us together. Jordan and the Dominican Republic, for instance, share the same dreams of peace, prosperity, and well-being. We thrive to make our economies grow. We struggle to eradicate poverty. We promote education, healthcare, and social security. We are committed to the protection of human dignity, the safeguard of our natural resources and the environment, the preservation of our cultural heritage, and the modernization of our societies. I have been informed about all the bold initiatives undertaken by His Majesty King Abdullah II in the economic, social, and political transformation of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. I have come to know about the special economic zones that create so many job opportunities for young Jordanians, about His Majesty's concern for the advancement of information and communications technologies, the building of modern infrastructure, and his advocacy for peace in the Middle East and around the world. For all of these, we praise and recognize King Abdullah II for his visionary and transformative leadership. In a way, according to our national circumstances and limitations, we have also followed King Abdullah's path of reform in Latin America and the Caribbean, and have embraced the challenge to transform our economies, strengthen our political institutions, promote sustainable development, modernize our infrastructure, improve the quality of life, and create opportunities for every citizen to fulfill his or her aspirations. So there is a lot to be learned and shared among our nations and regions about our successes and failures, our best practices and best experiences in different areas of development. And this is what we aspire will make this Center for Latin American Studies a relevant and significant place in bringing together, through the power of thought and ideas, two great regions of the world, Latin America and the Caribbean and the Middle East, each with an enormous historical legacy, an outstanding cultural wealth, and highly talented people willing to become the architects of their own destiny. At this place, we will do research work, among other topics, on the history, economics, politics, social, cultural, environmental, scientific, and technological advances of our regions. We will design a webpage, publish working papers, newsletters, and other types of documents that will portray the region's challenges and opportunities from an analytical and comparative perspective. We will hold seminars, panels, conferences, and workshops to disseminate information, promote knowledge, and create awareness among scholars, researchers, and students in areas of their interest. In summary, the Center for Latin American Studies and the University of Jordan will be a modern think tank, a laboratory for innovative and fresh ideas, where we will share the commonality of two great regions, Latin America and the Caribbean, and the Middle East, separated by geography, yet united by a universal call for closeness, solidarity, and cooperation. It has been because of these values that the majority of Latin American nations voted some months ago in favor of the entry of Palestine in UNESCO, and that more recently, at the United Nations General Assembly, once again, the Latin American and Caribbean nation very proudly voted in favor of granting Palestine a well-deserved status of observer within this international organization. This center will try to identify opportunities for investment, trade, technology transfer, infrastructure development, educational and cultural exchange, and other means of collaboration that can enhance the potential for development among the nations of our regions. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the government and university authorities for their hospitality, generosity, and friendship put forward in this memorable event of great promise for the future of our regions. I would like to extend that gratitude personally to Dr. Ehlief Al-Tarani, President of the university, who honored us with a recent visit to the Dominican Republic, to Dr. Zaid Eyadat, whose enthusiasm and determination has been pivotal to the creation of this center, and to my good friend Mustafa Abu Naba, an Arab with a Latin American heart, who has understood the need of bringing together people from distant part of the world in a common cause for peace, tolerance, and prosperity. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Shukran. جدا، واشكر الاستاذ رئيس الجامعه والاخ زيد عميد الحوديه، واشكر دوله الرئيس والاخوه الحضور، شاكرا لكم احساسكم الذي شعرناه وما لمسناه من تحمسكم لهذا المركز الذي نرجو له التوفيق. وبارك الله فيك السيد الرئيس، بارك الله فيك.